Hi, my name is Giovanni Marin, and today I'll be doing the Right to Remain Innocent video presentation. So there are multiple scenarios in this book in which the author talks about some people's circumstances that have changed when they have talked to the police. And today I'm going to be talking to you about some of those scenarios. So one example of a scenario of which an innocent person's life has changed was when a man by the name of Glenn Ford went to the police station without a lawyer and told them everything about a man who had died at the jewelry store worker. So he went to the police station and told them about the day before, how he had peed in the alley, how he got denied money from the worker. So with all this information, it wasn't really going good for his case. With that being said, after all the information that they had received from Glenn, he ended up getting 29 years in death row. Another scenario is a man named Michael Morin who served 25 years to life in prison, and this was because he had shared voluntarily information to the police about his wife who had died. He shared information about how before her death they had gotten in an argument related to his birthday, and he also left a note explaining how angry he was. So with all this information and evidence that the police were receiving, it was all going against Morton because it showed his supposed motive to commit the crime. So the author advises all of us to speak against the police for many reasons. When speaking to the police, we really don't know what we say most of the time because most of us get nervous, in the moment. So one of the reasons is that when you start giving out too much information and start telling the cops a lot of things, it can start being used against them for a crime that they did not commit at all. Also, another reason is that when you start speaking to a policeman for a very long time, you highly are projected to start confessing to a crime that you actually did not commit. Also, the author advises not to speak to policemen because there are so many corrupt police officers out there, and if we ever get approached by one and we start talking and giving a lot of information out, they can actually lie and cause undeserved legal trouble, which is almost nearly impossible to get out of. Also, all police officers are human, meaning they don't know if you're telling the truth or not. So if you don't talk at all, it's much harder for them to get out information from you, which is what they are typically trying to accomplish. So what the author advises you to do when you are asked to speak to a policeman is to not mention the Fifth Amendment at all, because it can be used as an act of guilt against you. So what he advises you to do is to mention the Sixth Amendment, which is to get a lawyer, meaning you don't want to give out too much information or any information at all if you don't want to, without a lawyer. So throughout this whole book, the author gave out good advice about, what not to do and what to do when we get approached or asked to speak to a policeman. Um, he also gave us many good scenarios in which we saw how cruel and unworthy scenarios can turn out even when you are trying to, voluntarily give out information about something that you did not do. The author also shows us how, like I mentioned before, with telling the truth, you can, even though you didn't do something, you can still get prison time no matter what. And it's just very cruel, and it frustrates me most of the time. But I feel that with all the advice that he has given us, we should really put it into place. And from now on, if we ever come into situations or problems with the police, I feel like with this book and his advice that he gave us, we would really know what to do in scenarios like these.